Too long has France been divided. Too long have we been kept at the mercy of the outside world. Too long have we been kept down. No longer! Soon France will rise. The crushing defeats in the 18th century to the devious Habsburgs and the arrogant Greeks have left France broken and divided. It has been a long and slow process rebuilding our country. But now we have a new king, Charles XII, and a new vibrant government. It's time to show Europe the might of French arms as we unify our people. Revanche! Vive le roi! Yeah, that's a pretty interesting intro. So we are the Mouvement Français at the head of France with a very weird flag. And the general staff, still called the German general staff, idea. It's a weird totalitarian regime that's going to unite Europe, hopefully. Let's strengthen some people. Our enemies. The Balkans, Eastern Europe, the Baltics. Western Europe, that would be us, right? Well, no. Actually, no. Good. Yes, because we don't want ourselves to be stronger. We want our enemies to be stronger so they have a bit of a challenge. Central Asia, Commonwealth, Japan, Menguko, the USA, the United Kingdom. Not France, Soviet. Who would Soviet be? The Russian Empire, right? Italy and Germany. So that would be Prussia. Okay, so we are now fully decked up. And we're gonna check out the British Republic. No, French. It appears like this is not very compatible now, is it? Yes, it appears it is not very compatible with this mod. I was trying to use it combined with Sanguinum and Lacrimus, but it doesn't look like it's most compatible, although I guess it could work in general. Okay. So, what are we going to do first? We're going to go ahead and get ourselves some research done. Not sure how quickly we're going to go to war, so we want things to be ready as quickly as possible. Field hospital, that's a little early actually. Right, it's the 1936 tech and it's 1935. I did not notice. We have some of these researched already. Good. Grand battle plan. That's very good. That's 1 year ahead, and that's also 1 year ahead, because obviously those are now 1936 instead of 1935. So we could grab ourselves press integration for some more poly power, or get criminals for the state. Yes, free civilian factories. So we're gonna build ourselves a military industry. Only 9 civilian factories available to work for us, which is very unfortunate, but it will. Okay, national focus. We could get a New France for some polypower, or Marine Nationale for some navy, or metropolitan development. This looks like it is very, very good. Motorized focus for motorized production cost, or infantry focus for infantry production cost. Mechanized model support artillery. Let's get ourselves some infrastructure first and get some troops training. The Léger Mécanique is the division I want. Okay. Although all this recruitment will have to take a back seat compared to wait, what? What? Okay. Reinforcements. That should be the first priority. Outdated equipment in production, that would be the Redoutable class submarine. So let's switch that down to 1. Just like all of these. All these things. And maybe we should also group our navy together. This is going to take a while. Northern France, Southern France. Okay, so at least they're in places where we can find them. And we're going to send them all to Brest. Some of them appears like are still in areas where they should be like in a normal game, but obviously they're not, because, well, Yeah, it's a mod. Okay, insufficient resources, oil, rubber, and tungsten, as always. Oil, rubber, only need one rubber. Tungsten, only need one tungsten, so we'll wait on that. We have 3 military factories though, so let's focus on that. Tons of infantry equipment, tons of support equipment, tons of artillery, some light tanks, and tons of motorized. So far, that's important. Also, interwar fighters. So as soon as we have the military factories, then we're gonna use those. Unassigned divisions, yes, and yes. Okay, so all these can be ignored. Let's start it. Okay, so that's our army. And these are our generals. Seems like they're basically the same. High Giroud. Interesting. Very interesting. The problem is, all of our field marshals have old guard. In fact, a lot of our normal generals have pretty bad traits as well. Here's our 4th tech slot coming up, and that's gonna come for press integration. Still doing that outdated equipment as obvious. So that's our navy coming up together. We're gonna split off the subs, and then we're gonna have the production go to the correct fleets. Like this. Okay, so this is the subfleet so far. Metropolitan development, good. So we're gonna get the motorized tactics, or actually no. We're gonna get the factories first, so that we can have some extra production. Okay, that's our navy setup. Our troops, let's see. We have some colonial brigades, which are shit. So we're gonna take all of them. Or, yeah, okay. So we're gonna take all of these. These are worthless. So let's delete them. Then the troops we have left, we are gonna have you and you, and you, and you and you. And then all of you, holy shit, we have a lot of armor. A lot of armor and a lot of motorized. You're gonna be with Juin. You're gonna be with Juin, and you're gonna be the main army. Then all of you are gonna be under Tassigny, and you're gonna be the other part of the army. Okay, that's you go there. You go there. Let's see. We have 2 types of armor divisions. We have the Brigade de Chars de Combat and the Division Légère Mécanique. We want the Division Légère Mécanique. So we're gonna disband some of these brigades. Oh, China declared war on Yunnan already. Well, that did not take long. Chinese factional wars. China's been in turmoil for centuries following the collapse of the Ming Dynasty. As European powers carve out territories along the coast, the territory remains fractured. Tensions between these Chinese states are on the rise, and war is a certainty. Okay. So it looks like things are happening in China, which is good. Oil Republic, yeah, obviously. So everybody's fighting it out. Send them to the front. Or send them to the factories. Okay, so far we can't really do that. Maybe aircraft. Do we have anything to do here? No, we don't. So let's go for air doctrine first. Air doctrine, I think we're gonna go with battlefield support. And then we have something else. We could go with the B1 tank, but no. Don't think that's gonna be very useful for us. Don't think that's gonna be very useful at all. That was the weapons. And these are already too far away. Interesting. Military leader cost. No. I'm gonna take white phosphorus. White phosphorus is a very good tech. So this is a brigade. These two are brigades, and we're gonna change them into divisions. Because normally the brigade would be just that, which is not very good. Okay. Just changing up my colors so that it's a little bit easier to see. Okay. I already have partial mobilization and limited conscription, so we don't need any manpower so far, or bureaus. Oh, yeah, right, that's chemical weapons. Oh, so that's why all of that stuff was... Signatory of the Geneva Protocol Reaffirmation Reservations. Oh, okay. Interesting. Well, we'll see how that works soon enough. We could go with a grand battle plan expert, which would be very useful indeed. Or we could get ourselves a war industrialist first, which is more important. And then we're going to try to fill up our stuff later. Still need tungsten. Give me that tungsten, Iberia. And give me that rubber. Industrial expansion. And let's get the research slot. Very quickly, very painlessly. So you are getting yourself equipped for battle. We have tons of light tanks actually in reserve because we disbanded those brigades. And we lack motorized. Do we? Yeah, so motorized is going to jump up in priority compared to the tanks. Press integration, and now we can go directly to the civilian truck conversion, which is going to help us produce even more motorized. So what is the Byzantine Empire doing? Madness of Constantine. Yeah, that is essentially the reason that the Byzantine Empire is not overpowered. Technically, well, except for the fact that most of their territory is also useless, and yeah, probably cannot manage sort of troops over this large of an area, but we'll see. Extra research slot. So now we can go with trying to get ourselves the motorized tactics. Constantine the 19th? Yep, Emperor of Byzantium is not a well man. His health has been declining rapidly since the death of his eldest son in 1939. The worst kept secret in diplomatic circles is that the old emperor is mad. It is clear now that this state of affairs cannot continue. A solution must soon present itself. Well, so there might be a crisis going on here. Who knows? Research slot, and now we can go with... What can we go with? Naval Doctrine? Yeah, maybe Naval Doctrine. Maybe that would not be so bad. I think all of these are later on too. Yep, all of these are later on. And both of these as well. And for aircraft, we don't really have anything except for the fighter. I mean, the fighter later on it's kind of useful, but fleet and being sucks dicks too. Like, let's go for base strike. Base strike is so much better. Now let's get ourselves some tenors. Splitting up the submarines a little bit more. Just so they don't all die in one hit whenever anything happens. Byzantine Regency. With Constantine the 19th health continuing to decline, the Byzantine government has opted to institute a regency. The emperor's brother, an advocate of revanchist ideals, has assumed the regency. So they went with revanchism, it would seem. Andronikos Regency. And they're gonna try to be dicks, yeah. We're gonna do military expansion. Yes, so they could just... Yeah, they could just do some things. War of aggression. Yes. So let's finish off this part of the tree, and then we're gonna go with the diplomacy and try to do something instead of sitting around. Formation flying. Hey, that was in air doctrine, not in land doctrine, please. Okay. Okay, so at least we should be getting ourselves some factories quickly now. And for this, we can go with Silent Workhorse for more polypower. Yeah, sure. So we're gonna get quite a bit of polypower gain with the press integration and the polypower person. So now we can also train up. Get our people to level regular. Good. And then we can get the new plants. Good. Get ourselves some extra polypower as well to fill up our cabinet. Who is going to be our first target of expansion? So restore France is obviously what we want. Stop interrupting me. We're very close to 1936, so we can get ourselves some 1936 stuff without too much trouble. Without too much trouble indeed. Now, yes, I was going through here. Restore France. Revanche is entrenched, which is tons of recruitment pop. National zeal. That's very good. Then Gascon reunion. German diplomacy. Pressure Germany. German technical advice. Foreign ministry. Asian delegation. American diplomatic ties. Okay. So that's a lot of stuff. Let's get the commandeering of civilian vehicles very quickly to get ourselves some extra trucks. Modify government. Good. Don't need any of these so far. Yeah, where are you? Where are you? Where are you? Vive le roi, or whatever. We're gonna get the goal for the grand battle plan expertise and for the army experience gain. Then Olivia, go there. You continue to do that. You all are now trained up. So you go here, you go here. Yes, yes indeed. Base strike, good. So first target looks like it's gonna be Gascony, right? Yeah, the Gascon reunion. Okay. So that should happen peacefully. The game continues. Constantinople has reaffirmed the commitment to secure its interests in the Middle East and Africa. This will likely inflame tensions with the rival Bahmanis. Only time will tell what will come of this. Okay. Doesn't look like anything too strong. So let's get ourselves some divisions on the border with Gascony. Should be easy enough to defeat them. Don't think their army is going to be really quite up to snuff. 10 to 18 divisions should be pretty easy to defeat. And China winning wars. Winning wars indeed. Let's see what's happening. So yes, they got that. And that's going to allow them to flank Yunnan as well. So good for them. And we're going to get the restoration of France. Sounds very nice indeed. As well, we can get some very, very good industrial concerns, etc., etc., etc. And we're going to be looking for war economy soon enough, but we need some extra world tension for that, which is partially going to come from us, I would think. Vienna constitutional reform. So, differences between the two halves of the empire left political inaction. The emperor has called a special convention in Vienna, which appears to have settled the issue. So, no problems with Hungary anymore, which is bad because they're very strong. Habsburgs, they're definitely very strong. Basic machine and tools, and that's a lot of factory output. Thanks, give me that. That's useful, very, very useful. Next up is gonna be motorization, maybe, or maybe a aircraft designer. Yeah, I think the aircraft designer is gonna be better for now because we're about to research something with aircraft. And then now we can also start to edit our divisions a little bit. Let's get the reunification first. I start to edit out our divisions a little bit and give them some stuff. Now, support artillery. Would we have the artillery for that? Yes, we would. Get them that. And then soon enough they'll have that extra army experience. We'll add some extra, maybe infantry. Division d'Infanterie. So that's going to be a new infantry army under command of Giraud. And after Gascony, we're going to have war preparation, Flemish line, national mobilization, war of Austria. So maybe not that. Maybe claims on Provence. Yes. Prepared defense, infiltration, grand assault. Yes. So claims on Provence, obviously. And then we can commandeer civilian vehicles. Yes, that's great. That's great. However, we also need electromechanical engineering, and yeah, perfect. So we'll have to sacrifice some for the greater good. 2.50k. There will most likely be a public backlash. Oh well. Oh well. Things have to happen sometimes. So that's a lot of motorized to sort of kickstart our production of things, and I also need more infantry equipment, interestingly enough. Italy plans on using chemical weapons. It has come to our attention that Italy has activated their chemical stockpile and it plans to use it against their enemies. We could announce them show our disdain for such use of horrific weapons. Alternatively, we could stay out of this. Should we really care about what other sovereigns are doing? Either we do not care, or how dare they, or we have to put an end to this. No, we do not care, to be fair. Because we're going to use chemical weapons too, so we don't really need that. The Gascon state is merely land stolen from the patrie. The people there wish to, first to return to France, and shall now honor their wishes. Vive le roi! So we annex them, and they return. Good. Could get some extra land doctrine preparations. Yeah, all of these just give you a lot of very good bonuses. So we're going to take them, and then we're going to take some extra stuff for being a warmonger, which is our duty. Gamelan is after you complete aggressive focus. You would think that grants Maurice Gamelan. Yes. So I'm supposed to have Gamelan available, but I don't, which is annoying. Cavalry expert. Oh, that's gonna be great. Because cavalry also gives bonuses to motorized. Tactical bombing, that's also pretty good. But first, we shall go with material designer, which is gonna be infantry equipment, because that's the one that we're gonna research the most. Now we have some extra stuff. That's Gasconian divisions joining up with the army. So let's just select all of them. So because that's essentially like the Anschluss, so we get their army as well. After a successful coup backed by Paris, the Revanche faction has taken power in Gascony at the declared union with France. French troops have moved into the country facing little resistance. No fighting has been reported, and the French soldiers were greeted with cheering crowds in the cities. In a speech before a massive crowd in Paris, Charles XII announced the reclamation of Gascony, annexing the country into France. Yes, as we expected. So yes, people are just activating their stockpiles of chemical weapons. Can we do that? That is the question. Convention to reform the Geneva Protocol. More than a decade after the 1935 Geneva Conference for the Supervision of International Traffic in Arms, nations across the world have gathered on behalf of the Byzantine Empire to once again discuss the Geneva Protocol. While it is generally understood that chemical weapons are pure weapons of torment, there are those that still believe that the treaties and rules do not apply to them. The Byzantine Empire believes that the coming together will show once and for all that which countries are ready to be part of the international community and work within its rules, and which countries believe they are above this. Is the most interesting development. Now, can we... Why can we not? It might be because... Ooh, the Mexican Empire declared war on the Dominion of Mexico. Mexican Revolution. A civil war has erupted in Mexico. Several generals seeking to overthrow the current government and declare freedom from Britain have issued a proclamation, and a large portion of the Mexican armed forces have answered their call to arms. The right-wing nationalist faction has occupied much of northern Mexico. Loyalist forces and volunteers have assembled under the left-wing Cromwellian government, determined to resist the push to their last breath. The battle for Mexico has begun. So that looks like a bit of a Spanish Civil War type thing. So they have the Revanchists up here, and they have the Dominion of Mexico down here. So the Convention to reform the Geneva Protocol. We show a world of commitment and fully sign the treaty and pledge to never use chemical weapons no matter the circumstances. Alternatively, we can decide to sign the treaty, but hand in a reservation stating that if a nation decide to use chemical weapons against us first, we keep the right to retaliate with our own chemical weapons. Lastly, we can, of course, decide to abstain and refuse to sign this unenforceable piece of paper. Right, or refuse to sign. And also, Yunnan died, as we all expected it to. So now can we employ it? We accept it. We went with exception. Ooh, declare war on the Bahmani Empire. And we could get the Bahmani Empire in our alliance, but fighting the Byzantines right now would be a very bad idea. And I'm thinking that the Bahmani Empire is gonna lose. Yeah, they're gonna lose really hard. So we should probably not do that. Claims on India. Well, I guess they already had jihad declared. Of course. Yeah, enforcing our claims, that's what's happened. And they're gonna easily, it seems, when they're already landed in India, which is insane. Let's get the national zeal. The jihadi axis. And Bengal joined. So it looks like most of India is uniting against the Byzantines. Of course, the Omanis, who are the puppets of the Bahmanis, are gonna very, very quickly be overrun by the Byzantine forces. And the Byzantine landing in India seems to have taken a bit of a backseat and have been surrounded from its ports. However, in the south, in Madurai, the Byzantines have a lot of territory under their control, and they're probably going to be able to use that territory. Unlike the rest of their invasion, which has been cut off from its supply lines. Just reorganizing. Okay. So all of ya are gonna be there. Claims on Provence is the next. So let's get ourselves. Although armor in the north of Provence is not gonna be very useful at all. Okay. Then you so far are fine here where you are. Except, do you have mounted troops? Yes, you do. Transfer them over, because that's going to be very useful. And also, we can actually, I think, constructing territories that we didn't have before, so let's queue up things. Mobile tank desire, thanks. Oh, army reform. Army reform, army reform, army reform. Where would that be? Not here. Maybe here? National mobilization? Who knows? I do not really see anywhere. War games, joint drills. Nope. Okay, this is gonna be the end of it. The end of it. Next time we're gonna try and destroy Burgundy and Provence, who have the same guy, obviously. I hope you've enjoyed so far, and I'll see you soon.